everybody, welcome back. Interesting is pretty much all I can say. What God has been given for this year, 2026. I believe for the pure-hearted Christians, favor is going to fall upon them, and I believe it's going to be recognized by people. And give me a second. Crap. Forgot to shut my black paint down yesterday. And it dried it out. Not a biggie. But anyways, give me one more second. And this is everything this stuff is all like new to me. I mean, I've always been kind of like an organized person, but sometimes I just get to where stuff just gets piled on top of stuff. And lately it's just been driving me crazy. But I wanted to light that candle before when I came down, but I forgot. So anyways, 2026, the exposure of man, the exposure of what is happening and what's going on. We go all the way back to the COVID, people. And I'm just going to say what it is to me. I'm not saying that this is how I feel about all this. And I believe it was a trial. It was a training thing to see how much they could control us and put us through until we had enough. When we could take off the mask and they try to get us to put them back on, it didn't happen. People wear them today because you're fearful. I'm not fearful to die, people. I don't care if a bomb blows up today or somebody comes in here and puts a gun, and I'm just like, well, take me out. All you're doing is sending me home. God's looking for faith. Why do we fear? Fear is what the devil wants, and that's how he leads, and that's how these attachments, the skinwalkers, the shape changers, the visions of these things that are taking place, the watchers. I've been talking about the watchers for many years, and people don't want to acknowledge it, but it's starting to happen. People are starting to see these things, and it's starting to become more and more visualized because it's just like a heavenly angel watching over you. It's like when God sends them angels, Lucifer sends those demons. They watched you. I used to play with my shadow. It would move around, and I wasn't even moving. I would interact with my shadow. That's how close some things are to you. They watch you as you sleep. They watch your likes. They watch you what you're watching when nobody else is watching you. They know what you're doing on your phones, your computers, when you leave home, when you leave work, when you're at the gym, when you're at the stores. These things know what you do because they watch you. That's why I call it a watcher. Don't know if that's the demonic name for it or not. I never really cared to look it up. Don't really care. I just know if I sat and watched you for hours and hours and hours, then what do you want to call it? Your best friend, your family member, somebody that hangs out with you every day. They pretty much would know your likes and dislikes, right? You could agree with that? So if that's the case, what makes you think that these watchers are not doing that very same thing? What makes you think that your children are doing what they say they're doing? Did you ever not lie to your parents? Mom, I'm going to go stay at Jimmy Joe's, and you end up at Bobby Joe's. Is that not a lie? You're being deceiving because they think you're there. Now, let's just say you get in trouble or that house catches on fire and they rush down there and you're not there. Let's say you're out running around the neighborhood and they pass you up and they're not going to stop. I wouldn't stop. I'd wait till they come home. Or I might park off to the side somewhere and just watch what they're doing. Maybe they're just walking to the store or something. Maybe they're getting some snacks and going back. I don't know, but if they're running around that neighborhood, are they where they're supposed to be? I always wanted my children to have more freedom than what they did. And the reason being because you got to teach them to trust. You got to allow them to use that inner spirit, that guidance. Nope, you're doing wrong. That conscience. You're doing wrong. Get away from this. You got to let them start growing. As they grow, make adult decisions. It's like the Holy Spirit. If I was to grab this candle right now, and I grab that candle thing with the little cup thing on there and start putting it on top of there and holding it, what happens? This flame will go out. Agree? Good. If we don't use the Spirit and we deny it, what do you think is going to happen? We're not going to know when it's that discernment's coming. Now, you may say, well, yeah, there's a lot of times I feel like I should get away from something, but I don't do it. Or I'm in a building that, a church or something, whatever it may be, that you feel like I need to leave here. This isn't for me. And you don't do it. What are you telling God? Your help, I don't want it. But when we're in trouble, we go quick. Oh, God, I need your help. Oh, God, this. Or Jesus, help me here. Again, crawl out to Lucifer then. If you're a backsliding Christian, and I say backsliding because you left Christ where he is. Now, I know people are going to get offended by this, or they think I'm picking on a particular person or whatever. It's not the case. I'm not even thinking about yesterday or the day before or 10 days ago. I forgive people and I move forward. I don't hold grudges. I don't hold the eye for the eye thing, and I still pray for the people. Whether or not, I can get a little heated at times, but, let's just think about what somebody's heating you up about. I'm human too, people. That fight mode comes out of me. Flight really doesn't exist in my life. Fight does. That's all I know. So, in a way, I believe God made me this way because I don't fear demons. I don't fear Lucifer, Satan, the Reaper. Death will not hold me. It didn't hold my Lord Jesus in the grave. It didn't hold him when he defeated hell and took the keys and locked them gates. It didn't hold him when he ascended back into heaven and prepared a new place. It didn't hold him when he grabbed me out of hell and robbed that grave and took my name and took it with him. Same as he could take yours. But you got to lay it at his feet. You got to lay everything down on that line. You got to be willing to walk away. That's why I don't believe in backsliding. Oh, I fell off the wagon. No, you never fell off the wagon because you never got on the wagon. You stumbled trying to get on the wagon and you fell. And that's not ever getting on the wagon. Basically what I'm saying is, so many people say, well, I'm sober, but yet they're still drinking at events and getting drunken. That's not sober to me. Sober is not touching it. I'm not condemning anybody. You have to condemn yourself. You better start condemning yourself and examining yourself before the hour comes upon you. And I believe that hour can come at any moment now. And I'm firm on this. I really do believe. I'd be surprised if we make it up, if many of God's sheep does not make it, will not live through 2026. There is going to be war, people. We are going to have, whether that war takes people out, whether God just opens up the heavens. And it's amazing how many Christians believe that nobody has seen heaven. Well, put God in the box all you want. I don't care. Because if that's the case, then I guess when he took Elijah out of that chariot with that chariot of fire, I guess he just stored him somewhere, maybe in space somewhere. Maybe he took him to Mars, dropped him off there. Oh, well, here you go. I'm not going to let you see heaven. Why would God do that? I know I'm not lying of the things I've seen. I know what I've seen, and I know the wickedness that I see that comes around me. Now, it may be, could you use because I hit my head so many times that, something's wrong there or whatever, even from a child? I just learned to sit still and listen. I just learned to watch things and look around. Does that make me a watcher? Yes. Does that make me an evil one? One time. One time it probably did. But I wasn't after someone's soul or spirit or flesh. I didn't need a host. I had my own host. I had my own body. It's kind of hard to allow something come into your body that's already evil, right? Evil doesn't want evil. It's not after that. It's after the more rewards by gaining a godly person. How many evil people do you see becoming evil? They're already evil. You're either following Christ or you're following Satan. Lucifer. Let's just call it what it is. If you're not following Christ, you're following Lucifer. When I say Christ, I mean the living Son, Jesus Christ. The only true King that I will ever bow down to. The only person I would ever bow down to is him. I shall never surrender. I never bowed to Lucifer. Ever. Nor will I ever. I get up and I think about the world, and I think about, we were just sitting there talking about yesterday possibly going back to Florida. And I got on there this morning and I started looking at pricing and the lot fees or property fees if you buy a property there. And, I don't want nothing spectacular. I'm just really just like a double wide module, mobile home, whatever the heck glorifies your name you want to give it. And then I'm looking at the payments and I'm going, you got to be joking me. It's ridiculous, people. I mean, this world is ridiculous. But it gets to a point where you just go, what is going to be best? And all I care about today is what God wants. Seek God and seek the kingdom first before the day starts, and you will know God's will for you. You will know the purpose for today. You will know why you're here today. You may go in the grocery store and just randomly go up to somebody and give them a word that God has told you to tell them. Or you may stifle that and not ever do it and then regret it. It doesn't hurt to push somebody's shopping cart back if they're elderly people or somebody with a kid or whatever, because these days the parents put the kids in there and then they hurry up and run the carts back. It takes a few seconds for somebody to snatch that child and be gone. Not saying anything's right or wrong. Most of the time I park next to the cart corrals anyways. Yeah, I take a chance of somebody throwing a cart and misses the corral and slams into the car. I understand that, but the way that I am, I need that cart to get into the store. And I'm not going to take one of them electric scooters that a lot of people do. And I'm not coming against anybody. I don't care. But I'm just saying, then you see people that really need it come in there. And I see these people stand up off them scooters and walk down the thing, squat down, looking on shelves. I disagree with that. I disagree with it. That's just my opinion of it. Doesn't make it right. Doesn't make it wrong. Doesn't make it anything. Am I coming against people? Maybe. But they present the truth to me. If we're around people that are destructive, you eventually will become destructive. You eventually will fall into their same lifestyle, the very lifestyle that you couldn't stand. I mean, take a look at the person that you're with and tell me, let's just say you got married and got divorced and you got remarried again. Tell me if that person matches similarity, controlling, watches everything you do, barks orders and talks trash to you or whatever. Tell me if you got away from somebody like that and you got with somebody, then how could you come against somebody that you were married to then like that? And you got with basically the same type of person. Or for the fact that, and this happened to me, somebody hacked my accounts and stuff, and it happens no idea who that is. Someone hacked my accounts. This happens all the time. And after a while, people's going, come on, really again? Yes, really again. I can't even get into my one email. I had to start a whole nother email. And there was a lot of stuff in that emails that I needed. I even tried contacting them, and I tried every password that I know that's right. I know the password's right because I can use it when I get a new phone and they transfer it over and you put your Google information in. It transfers everything. But why is it that it would do that, but it won't let me log into something? Interesting, isn't it? Same password. Something just isn't right. If we keep looking at this world as we're safe, we're not safe. I remember when the Lord told me Utah would become corrupted. And there's things that will happen in Utah, you know, and I think of when the statue of Baal went around and, you know, with the horns and basically all that crap. And then they had the ones with the two children next to that horned goat figure and all that, half man, half this, half that, whatever satanic bull crap is all it is. And you think about it, what that represents, people take a good, long, hard look at what it says is this. He is snatching the children. And we're allowing it. I have no control over what my children do today. I have no control over what they, you know, and I tried to teach them right and wrong for the ending part that I've had them. And sometimes that spirit is so high strung you can't put a rein on it and try to pull it back, because now they're at that age where they're going to do whatever they want. Reality sets in when they get an adult and they start having children themselves. You know, they do have children today. I don't know how many each one of them has, and not trying to be mean, but it doesn't really matter to me anymore. I don't claim to be a grandfather, and I really, from what I hear, I'm not much of a dad either. So, you know, I'm not after pity people. I'm just saying this is what Satan's doing in the world. Listen, hear me out. I'm not bashing anybody. I love my children. I pray for my children. It's not the fact of that. I mean, at one time there was 5 of them. One of them was supposed to be clean, still smoking dope, and I kept telling everybody he's going to die. Get him off that crap. He don't need to be even doing that. That's not sober. He's still smoking marijuana. Sure enough, I don't know exactly what happened, but he ended up passing away. So that left the 4. And I raised him. I think he just turned 2 or 3. And the youngest, which is the oldest son now, he just turned 1 year old. And I still have contact with him. You know, he's still my son. He's always going to be my son. You know, no matter what, he got into some bad situations, and I just kept praying for him. And I still see him drinking at times, but that's his decision. That's his choices. All I can do is pray that he's protected, and that one day he'll truly surrender to Jesus Christ and he finds his way home. But then we still got to hold the prodigal son, don't we? You know, the prodigal son means a lot. If you think about it, your children that stray off and cause the chaos and whatever, and they come home, you know, do we keep accepting them to come home? I don't mean that they're going to live in the house if they're doing bad things. I mean, but I wouldn't turn my back on them, because I wouldn't expect God to do that to me. Am I not a prodigal son to God? Did I not? I never really ran from God. I didn't know God, but I would expect, and I'm grateful for what he gives me today. So in a way, I'm his prodigal son. Think about it. Forgive, and he shall forgive us. We hold a grudge, and he's going to do the same to us. So I have to separate that, okay? I got to let the world's things go. It doesn't mean I have to accept what they're doing. It doesn't mean I have to have a daily life with them. But if they're willing to call and talk or whatever, then I'll be who I am under God. But what I won't put up with is the holiday family. Basically, your birthday, Christmas, whatever event that you're going to receive something. I don't do that anymore. And I could be wrong. But I'm just saying, I don't see the sense in it. I'm only going to see somebody when they got their hands out. Well, I understand what it says. If they come knocking and ask for bread, would you give them a scorpion? You know, or a serpent, whatever. Or if they ask for a fish, would you give them? I forget exactly how it goes. It's in the Bible. Look it up. Just Google it. Because then the Lord says, if the evil knows how to give good gifts, then how much more shall my Father give? So you got to look at it that way, okay? So now we go into the plagues of things, and we look at what's happening. You know, we know that Congress is upside down. How can you not? I mean, they're a bunch of liars. They're a bunch of thieves. They rob, kill, and strip money from us. And they'll continue to do it. Our governor, I know you drive through Ohio, you drive through Akron, and I'm telling you right now, you better go buy yourself what we used to call the hoopties back in the day, or clunkers, whatever you want to call them, junk, whatever. Because you drive down Ohio in Akron area, and some of these roads, my God, right at the end of our road, you got to turn on. It dips down into this hole. You got to come up and around, and really, if there's a car sitting there, it's hard to get down. Let alone they got two big ditches. I just don't understand things sometimes. It's like, but we're also in a township, which then becomes Coventry's problem, really, I guess, not Akron. But you see what I'm saying? We can sit and complain about something all night and day, but if we don't put action, we don't start doing something about it, then we have nobody to blame but ourselves. And stop complaining, stop yelling at God. God, do something. Well, that's what God made us for. We have a voice. We sure know how to use it to each other, but we don't know how to use it to glorify God. We don't know how to use it to put the stuff that we vote for these people. How many of you went and voted for, what was it, 2024 when Trump took office? I don't even remember, to be honest with you. But how many of you just went all the way down and just marked all Republican? Be honest. I did. I don't even know half them people. I just know everybody was saying all Republican, Trump's going to be able to pass stuff quickly, and that's all I really cared about. Now, some of these Republicans are swapping sides or crawling in bed with the Democrats, and some of the Democrats are coming over to the Republican side. What I'm told, I don't know. I don't research the government. I don't really give a crap what goes on outside in this world, and I hate to say it, but I don't. I don't really like signing petitions. I just pray about everything, and I ask God for His wisdom. Whatever you want, whatever brings your son quicker, I'll sign that petition. I'm not worried about somebody come breaking in this house. I'm not worried about these events that are going to take place. I was reading a thing where somebody said we're going to lose power. People are running out buying generators. If we lose power, how are you going to? Are you going to stockpile a bunch of gasoline or kerosene, whatever that generator is going to take? Most of them you can burn either one. Now, nowadays, the newer ones, there's a thing on there where you can burn kerosene or you can burn gasoline. I have a problem with that because, I'm not a big person on that style, that kind of mixing fuel, but it just seems wrong to me. It just doesn't seem like I would want to put gasoline in something I put kerosene in. I almost feel like I'm setting it up to explode or something. And that could be just my own paranoid thing, but I'm very cautious of those things. I'm not saying, I never really looked it up, so I'm not saying that's from the Lord. I'm just saying my own thoughts. I always will tell you what the Lord has given me or my own thoughts, but where does my thoughts come from? It's got to come from, it sure ain't coming from Lucifer. Because if you think Lucifer is telling me to warn you guys about things, you got another thing coming. Is anything, he's going to want me to, he wants me quiet. He doesn't want me talking these things. And I think that's why I keep hitting my head, so he can keep me distracted. The pain because he wants me in pain. I believe God has me in pain because He's changing me. He's molding me. He's sculpting me. He's changing who I am today. And I'm okay with that. Today is a day, and I just move forward. I just lift Walmart up to Him and my day, and at this point, I'll just sit here and keep collecting checks. Because they're the fools. How much? It just shows. And then sometimes, now hear me out on this. Sometimes I wonder why we pay so much in grocery stores, and then I look at Walmart and what they're doing to me, and I'm going, well, this is why. Because they just rather pay somebody money and sit at home when I could be working because they don't want to pay for the surgeries and stuff. Makes no sense, does it? I don't even try to pretend that I even understand it anymore. It's above my pay grade, they say. But God is working, people. He showed me this year is going to be a very prosperous year, a restore year, open doors. He's got open doors for His faithful people. And so many people may claim to be faithful, but I'm telling you, I'm not even going to go down that avenue right now. I'm just saying you really need to examine yourself before you claim to be faithful. Because you need to look at your household men, fathers, and before you claim to be a faithful follower of Christ. Are you setting that bar? Jesus has got big shoes to fill. In this case, big sandals. Them footsteps that we walk in when you ever read the footprints saying, you know, when you were down, he picked you up and carried you. That's why there's only one set of footprints. You think about that. That's a big step to step into. We have to be ready. We have to watch what these governments are doing. Again, think back when the COVID was booming. What happened to the common cold and the common flu shot? There was none, right? I didn't see none. I didn't even hear anybody even talking about it. Everything was COVID, boosters. What is the boosters? Boosters is nothing more than COVID. Getting rid of that. That's why they gave you this and that. People were getting blood clots. People were dying. Everything was blamed on COVID. Well, what are they blaming it on now? You know, this government controlled food product that they're doing in their labs. I'd hate to even know what the hell they're putting in this hamburger. It's in a lab. They're producing all of it inside of a lab. What does that tell you? It's experimental. That's what it tells me. And I'm not trying to put fear in anybody not to buy a hamburger. At this point, we've already been eating it. Think about it. Think about it. Really? What's the difference? We've already been eating it. If it is, even if it is true, they were grinding bodies and stuff up into it. At this point, we're cannibals. Then, in a way, we kind of are. We're eating a live organ of something. People eat the hearts. People eat this and that. It's a living, breathing animal. Somebody asked me about evolution the other day, but really think about this, okay? I might be a crazy person, as some may say. That's just your words, it's your thoughts, it's your opinion, and I don't care because I know I'm not crazy, not yet, anyways. But if we came from the water, which became a monkey, which became apes or whatever, then why is there still apes? Because the evolution changed. How did evolution change then? They'd still be turning into humans, right? Even through evolution, they'd still be turning into man. Somewhere down the line, they'd still have to change into man, right? But if that's the case, then they just came out of the water? Well, what created the fish? What created that animal in the water? There's no evolution for that. The Scientology crap is just that, crap. You look at the Pope. We have the Pope that I said that would pass away. Prince Charles, sick. You look at the murders and stuff that Prince Charles did. Killed off Princess Diana. You look at how they can do murder. Even the government. Look at John F. K. Look at him. Shot him. They said one bullet, one shooter. If he's even dead, I don't know. He's probably dead by now. If he was still alive, it's the whole theory with Michael Jackson and the Prince and all these people that, to be honest, it's too exhausting to sit there and wonder if they're still alive or not alive. It doesn't really matter. What does matter is we got to really start looking at the world and what's happening. You got to start focusing more on your life and caring more. Do you want to live in this corrupted world the rest of your life? Do you want to go to hell and burn and be tortured 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, never ending. Haven't you gone through enough torture? You know, I could sit there and describe the things of hell, but it goes in one ear and out the other. And the reason why I say that, because people still watch these hell videos, watch what people say. They get fearful for a split moment, and then they go right back to drinking, right back to driving, right back to partying, right back to their crazy lives. I mean, if you were God, how would you feel? You look at the Israelites when they were in Egypt and being beaten and burned. You know, you think about when people talk about slavery, and and I asked the guy once, and he really got kind of ticked at me at first, and I said, can I just ask you a question? Not trying to start a race war or anything else. I don't come against. I don't care what skin color you are. There's ignorance in every skin color, people. There is racism in every skin color. I don't care, because, down with the whiteys, black power, and all that kind of garbage that went around for a while, that's racism. I mean, plain out. I never done nothing to you. I talked about this before, but let's just hold on for a second. When you're saying, and I asked the guy, because he said, my people. I said, hold on. I said, I might be ignorant to a lot of things, and I ask questions because I want to make sure I'm certain. When you're saying your people, what are you saying? My skin color, my people, the ones that are under me and with me. Under you. Does that not make you a slave owner then? If they're your people, do you own them people? No, I don't own them. Then why do you say they're your people? If I was to say you're my person, you're my people, well, how would you take that? I would take that as slavery. Because I'm white, and I'm saying it because you're, white. You pull out I hate to say it, people, but this is white. As far as I know, I can hold this up to me, and you can tell that there's a white object on me. Not white. And just for giggles, that's black, people. Okay? Just saying. Why do we get upset with it? Call me white, call me cracker, call me saltine, call me whatever you want. I don't care. You know why I don't care? Because that's your opinion. It doesn't matter to me. But then let me ask you this. Is not a gang slavery? Are they not? Yes, a lot of them join gangs, free will, but they can't leave free will. There's a consequence. You got to get jumped out, and you have, if they don't kill you, most likely they're just going to kill you anyways. Is that not slavery? You see how great Saint Lucifer is? Come on, man. Come on. We got to stop this nonsense. Because let me tell you right now, if you really, and I've actually heard people say this, there is only this skin color. Well, Jesus is black. He was a Jew. Okay, well, are you a Jew? No, I'm African American. Or they may say American African. How is that the same as a Jew then? It's totally different. Totally different country. You might correct me if I'm wrong. Well, no, Jesus is dark skinned then. Okay, dark skin. Most Jews are more the olive colored, like Italians and stuff like that then. Middle Easterns and stuff. Africa, you guys are darker there. I don't know why. I have no clue. I'm not God. Don't really care. I can stand outside in the sun and I get pretty dang on dark, people. I can literally disappear at nighttime in a room and just close my eyes and teeth and so you can't see my teeth or my eyes. And I had people walk right past me before. They had no clue I was there. That's how dark I get. Makes no sense, does it? None. Hold on a minute. But look, let's just say this though. You look at the people that come from Africa. If you look at them countries over there, look at the strength, look at the speed. That's why you see a lot of African Americans, American Africans, whatever, boxing and stuff like that because of the strength. Look at Tyson. Tyson was a beast. You look at Tyson in that Jake Paul fight, and you think about Tyson. I think about, at first I was like disgusted with it, man, because, Tyson was like my idol. Then I look at Tyson and I go, look at the self-control that man has. And that's a scary thought. Look at the self-control, what he did for his family to earn that money. Didn't care what the world says. That's control, people. That is impressive, what he's done. And I'm not putting Mike Tyson on the top of anything, but I'm just saying, if we can control ourselves, how much more can we do for God today? If you're willing to let the world just be the world, instead of having these reputations and all this garbage, that means nothing. I believe 2026 is going to be an upside down year for the land of the free, the home of the brave. I believe war is coming to these states. I believe these governors, and I believe lockdown, and I believe there is so much that's going to go wrong. So much. You look at Musk, all the satellites, all the stuff he's building in space, these solar farms, control over electricity, control over this. People, can anybody see a problem here? Robotic, I think he said by 2040, I think it was, on the end of 2030 into 2040 or something like that, we would be more robotic people walking and working. Where are we going to go? Is Trump, is not Trump, I'm sorry. Is Musk saying something we don't know? Does he know that Jesus is going to come? Did Jesus give him a timeline? No man knows the day or hour, but it doesn't say, it doesn't know the day. It never said nothing about the year. Look at the change of events. Look at the signs. Look at he says, watch the sky, pretty much watch the earth. We're watching all these things. We're seeing all these things unfold. The Red Seas and all this stuff. It's already happened. The calf was born with the 7 on it. Jerusalem, Israel is, they're rebuilding everything for the temple. But what's the temple? What's the holy of all holy places? If you go where that mosque is at, is that not where the original temple was built? From my understanding, and I looked on the map, I was going to look through these books today and find that picture I drew you, I drew, and I was going to show you. When he gave me this map, I woke up and I drew it, and I put a dot, and I put all what each dot represented, which country, and I put a dot right in the middle. And that dot right in the middle, and I never really asked him, and I asked him one day, Lord, what is that? He said, it's Israel. Wow. And all them countries surrounding it hate Israel. If they hate Israel, they hate God, they hate Jesus, they hate us. Then you wonder why you're being attacked. Anymore, I'm getting grateful. Anytime I'm being attacked, then I know I'm getting ready to do something for God. And I just look at Lucifer and just say, not today. You're not going to walk away from me laughing today. I'm going to walk away from you laughing today. Because I'm stronger each and every day. For he who lives in me is mightier than this world, Jesus Christ. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. I have authority in the name of Jesus. His blood is mighty. I can cast out demons. But instead, we want to watch these goofy movies. We want to watch. I'm just happy to hear that Stranger Things, or whatever it's called, is the last season's this year or something, I guess. But, it still disgusts me that Lucifer is one of the number one shows, I think 5 years in a row now or whatever. I just don't understand it, people. I mean, what is it going to take for you to start walking towards hell, and you're on a conveyor belt that it's going so fast, because that's what you're on. You're on a conveyor belt that it's moving faster than you can ever get off of it, and you don't even realize it, but you're taking yourself straight into hell. And when those fiery fires start coming up and you start looking, you're like, there's no way out. You know, you ever see the movies where what was it called, Brave or something, and those guys would go out there and start the fires and stuff, trying to stop the fires, and they put them tents over them, and they ended up dying out there. The one guy, the only one that survived. You know, I think it was called Brave or something like that. They're some kind of firefighter dudes or something. I don't even know exactly what they do, but I forget the name of them. But anyways, they basically fight fire with fire. I guess that's where the phrase comes. You're going to fight fire with fire. I just don't know how to put it anymore. I just don't know how to warn you that what you're living is, what your flesh wants is not worth the end price that you're going to pay. You're going to pay the ultimate price in the end of this, people. One way or another, you're going to pay a good price or you're going to pay a bad price. And majority of the people, you know, the spiritual sleeps in these churches, the spiritualness of death, basically, that testimonies don't exist. No, you know, because people don't believe that people see hell. People don't want to believe that, you know, hell is the number one topic that most people don't want to talk about. You can't say that you've seen hell, Nelson. You can't say that. Well, why can't I say it? Because it's not true. What do you mean it's not true? Then how am I supposed to believe that a man in a chariot went flying in the air on fire? How am I supposed to believe that a donkey spoke? How am I supposed to believe that 3 people went into a fire, but yet Nebuchadnezzar seen 4? How am I supposed to believe that Daniel went into a lion's cage and didn't get eaten? How am I supposed to believe that a dead man, bones came walking out, and the bones started forming into bodies and rising up and walking? How am I supposed to believe that Lazarus came back from the dead? How am I supposed to believe that a sick girl that was dead, that Jesus said that she was asleep and he woke her up? How am I supposed to believe that he turned water into wine? You want me to keep going? Because I can keep going. You put God in a coffin and you shut that lid and you throw the dirt on it. I'm not. I'm undigging every coffin that you people want to put God in. Because I believe. I know what I've seen. I don't care. I know I was legally dead. You just don't have urine and crap in your pants when you wake up. And you don't have a rope around you and your neck's all swollen up and weeks. At least, I can say it was at least 2 weeks before I could even eat something solid. It hurt to drink cold water, warm water, it didn't matter. Anything it hurt to drink. It hurt to swallow. Believe what you want. Believe what you want. But I can guarantee it. When you're walking on that path line straight into hell, there's no way out, people. None. None. You're stuck. When that reaper comes flying through, the angel of death, whatever you want to call him. I don't call him an angel. I just call him a reaper. The black shadow. The soul catcher. That's what he is. That's all he's doing. Bye-bye. It's here. Congress is going to get exposed, people, this year. And people that sit in that Senate, them Plosky's, the Schumers, the, what the heck is his name? Graham. I don't know, whatever happened to Kerry? John Kerry, the sellout of all sellouts. I don't hear much about him. Where's Hillary at lately? Where's Bill Clinton? You know, why are these people not in jail? Why is Barack Obama not in jail? No, he's the Antichrist, that's why. Believe what you want, I don't care. I would like to do a dental record on Osama bin Laden and Barack Obama, and I would be shocked if they're not the same person. Same height, put a beard on Barack Obama. Tell me he's not going to look identical to Osama bin Laden. You know, whether or not we ever know that he's legal here or not, you're never going to know. But you know why? Because they have to take out the 8 years that Barack Obama was president and erase it all. Because you can't be a president if you're not born in America. Look at all these people that are in power. Look at all these people that come in here and have no money. They're leaving with millions of dollars. Where are they getting all this money? We're printing more money than what we can have. Now they're taking the penny away. What happens next? The nickel. What happens after that? The quarter. What happens after that? Your dollar. What happened after that? The $5. What happened after that? The $20. What happened after that? The 50s, the hundreds. Okay, once all this is gone, then what do? It's all controlled. They can't control money. They don't have no idea what you're spending money on. That's why they start asking you when you go into the bank. So, well, what are you going to do with this money? It ain't none of your business. Was it you didn't ask me where I was getting the money to put it in there. Whether if I walked in with a cashier's check or not, you just know it's a cashier's check. You never asked me, well, where'd you get the money in this cashier's check? Where did it come from? You never asked me that. Don't ask me what I'm taking it out of the bank for, because I'm not going to tell you. It's none of your business. I put it in there. I earned it. If it comes direct deposit, you know exactly where it's coming from. Don't ask me what I'm spending it on. Because you want control. Do I go around asking you your finances? I can't stand it when somebody comes and asks me my finances. How are you still home? Don't worry about it. God, there you go. Go take it up with God. God provides. Am I faithful? Faithful? I try to be as much as I can every day. I try to read as much as I can possibly read, and I try to keep focused on anything that will keep my focus and keep my mind from straying into darkness. Because there's so much around us. There's so much shape changers out there, you know, the skinwalkers and all this garbage. It's right in front of you. Your very movies and your TV shows that you love so much is going to be the very things that you're not going to watch in hell, people. I'm telling you right now. When this system shuts down, see, all they're doing is programming right now, programming and testing us on what we can put up with or not. They're going to know how to control you. I don't know about you, but I'd rather work right now harder to get into the kingdom with God than to be rejected and left here. Because I guarantee it, I will put my life on it. You can't survive now, and you go through the troubles and trials you go through now, you're not going to be able to, you're going to cave so fast. Because picture this. Picture there is no death, okay? Because that's what hell is, no death. I mean, it's just death to you. You're going to live the same way. But just listen to me for a moment. Picture this. If you can not eat, but have the stomach pains, beyond hungry, but you won't die from it. But the hungry pains will increase. The thirsty pains will increase. You're not going to die because, you know, what is it, 3 days if you don't drink anything, water or whatever, you're supposed to die or whatever? Maybe so. I don't know. I've never really put it to the test, to be honest with you. I know I've gone a while without food. I mean, I if I can recall, the longest I think I went without food was almost 7 days. I didn't die. I felt I had no energy. I was horrible. I was mean, weak. I guess that falls under the no energy. Just beside myself. I mean, it was the worst feeling in the world. Stomach pains. I mean, you just ball up. You have cramps. It was horrible. You can only drink so much water. It doesn't take away the hungry pains after a while. Your thoughts, everything. So what I'm saying is, you may go a month without eating anything because you don't have that mark. You don't have that chip. It's happening now, people. People are taking these chips now, and they're giving them experimental money for these things. Money controls everything. People are willing to do all kinds of stuff for money. Crazy. Then you get these people, you know, that's why I can't stand Facebook. And honestly, I've been using Marketplace. That's the only reason why I'm even still. A lot of people, well, you don't answer my thing, and so because I see you're on Facebook. I don't care what you see. I'm on Marketplace. I'm posting stuff on there, trying to get rid of some stuff because I'm just tired of looking at it. Doesn't really matter. Move, stay here, whatever God wants, and that's what God gets. I'm grateful for this place. I mean, there's a couple things I'd like to change, and I probably will end up doing it. If we end up staying here, that's probably exactly what's going to happen. If that's God's will, which I know it's God's will because the Lord told me the other day, whatever you do, just be happy doing it. Basically, a nice way of saying stop complaining about everything. And that shower system we have up there, that is one of the things that drives me crazy every time I walk in there. It's like, I don't like it when people, if you really don't know what you're doing, I'm okay with that. But when you drag yourself up and it becomes a nightmare, I have a big problem with that. I think I stomach through it pretty good. And I have more respect for my wife than to have her. Not that she's just let me correct this real quick. Not that she's a worldly type of person or anything else. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying I don't want her to have to deal with that. That's my preference, not hers. Maybe she doesn't like it. Maybe she just isn't saying it because she knows it bothers me and I might get worked up on it. I don't know. But I do know it's not right. And if I don't like it, I don't want her to have to look at it. I don't like the way that the trim goes all the way to the ceiling. I don't like. You see why the Lord told me what he told me? Yeah, I see it. And I'm sorry. And I truly am, people. It's wrong. I should be more thanksgiving and I should be more grateful for this house than I become. Because everything that starts to go wrong, that's what Satan does. He just piles stuff and piles stuff and piles. The snowblower won't start, but it starts all summer long. Go figure. I bet you when summer comes, that stupid snowblower will fire right up. It's the craziest thing ever. I don't understand it. We have garage door problems. We got to get out sometimes and manually open and shut it. But it works fine all summer long. I changed the solenoid thing up in there and it started working fine. Then it started acting up again. You may say, well, just replace it. Well, it works. I don't see the sense of putting money in something, and I just start laughing about it now because that's the only way I can get through stuff. So we got to start changing the way we think. We got to start putting God in the kingdom above ourselves. And I'm very, very, I'm telling you guys, really pay more attention to this. Is what you're doing every day, would you do it with Jesus standing next to you? I want you to think about your routines that you do Sunday through Saturday. Really look at your routines. Would you do it? Would you watch it? Would you listen to it? Would you say it? Would you sit around the people? Would you become a chameleon? Because Jesus isn't a chameleon. Jesus set the examples. Pick up your cross and follow him daily. What does that mean? To be like him. Some people, I just read an email this morning where somebody says, Nelson, do you believe if you disagree with what's going on in the church that you're at, do you think that God would want you to continue to go to that church? Because of the fellowship thing. I mean, I was just talking about this with Darlene a while back about the whole fellowship thing. I don't know, people. I agree we should fellowship, but I mean, is it going to keep you out of heaven? I don't believe it will. Because if that's the case, then look how many people probably is not going to go to heaven. I'm being one of them. There's days that I just don't feel like walking into church. There's days I'm hurting so bad. Now, do I get a pass card on that because I'm in pain and I'm not really going to take much out of it? To me, it's kind of a waste going. I know I'm not big on the guest speakers and stuff because I really cannot. It bothers me when somebody stands there and screams. I can't be around a lot of people talking at one time either. So I'm not saying it's that person's. That could just be how they preach, but that's not my type of preaching. I don't need somebody screaming up there, dancing around, jumping around in comedy shows. I'm not there for comedy. I'd go to a comedy show if I'm there for that. I want the truth. I want testimonies. I want to see God's presence fly through a place. I want to feel it. I want to feel it like I feel it here. I'd rather stand alone, people. I say this all the time. I'd rather stand alone than to stand in a building that of disbelief. And then the same people that come and pray over you. How the heck are you going to go pray over someone if you have disbelief? You have disbelief and you put God in a box, and people don't even realize it, that they're doing these things. Disbelief could destroy you. This world, the politicians, I mean, the IRSs, the property taxes, I mean, all this stuff is the taxes we pay on our weekly checks, the fuel tax we pay. We can go down the list, but yet all these people that sit up on these benches and seats and stuff, they pay no taxes. Really? I mean, I can understand when they get out of office or something and they don't have to pay taxes on the money they get or something like that. I mean, I guess I can understand that. But I can't understand it while you're going to work every day and that's the job you chose. Why in the heck are we giving them free taxes? I don't understand that. But they're the first ones to come at you. They're the first ones that jack up the IRS hike on it. Now, I just happen to look at what is the interest for the FHA and all that stuff. It's like anywhere from 9.2 to 9.5. Holy moly. I about fell over. I'm like, this cannot be correct. And I went on another site. Same thing. If that's correct, I don't want to sell this house. I don't want to sell this house and have to go somewhere else because that's ridiculous. That's about as ridiculous as some of the lot payments and stuff that they want at some of these parks. $1,000, $1,200, $1,300. Some of them's got $1,300 in HOA fees. I don't know. I really don't know. I guess it falls to this category to me. Even if I could afford it, I wouldn't do it. I could think of a lot better things to do with money than to pay that ridiculous fee. I'd rather pay a property tax sitting here than pay that ridiculous fee. I'm being serious. It just doesn't make any sense to me at all. It's just crazy. You know, there's a lot of different ways we can look at things. You look at the rise of the Antichrist. You look at the things that are happening in this world. Look at the disobedience. Look at the crime rates. Look at the hatred. Look at how fast, I mean, I'm seeing people shape change quicker and quicker these days than I've ever seen in my life. You got to get to a point where you're grateful. You got to get to a point where you're examining yourself. Don't let today end until you examine yourself. You examine your household. You examine those very movies. You examine the music you listen to. There's even Christian music I stopped listening to. Because I don't believe in how they do things, I guess. That's all I'm going to say about it. I'm not coming against anything, but I'm just saying. I'm not just upholding Christian music because a lot of it's by far that. You look at the country music line. Whew. You know, you look at the Super Bowl that's coming up. I don't even know if I'm going to watch NFL next year. I might go back to not watching it, and I'm probably going to really start watching. And I promised the Lord this year that I would start looking at the programs more and more, because I hate to say it, but a lot of these shows I really do like watching, but I can't deal with the things that offend me, I guess. And if it offends me, then it has to offend God. Then why should I watch it? Because I'm living a flesh life then. Correct? Am I not? The very things I tell you guys not to do, and if I'm doing it, wouldn't that be hypocritical? I think so. just because I like the show and there really isn't a whole lot on anymore. But that's what I told you guys this was coming. I told you nudity. Everywhere you look, there's nudity. Swearing. I mean, you can't even watch a simple show anymore without hearing the GD word and all this crap. And sometimes I get so disgusted watching movies, I'm like, I just got to see how it ends. And I should just fast forward to the end then. And then when it ends, you're like, this is what I waited all this time for this? Oh my gosh, and they're cheesy movies at that. I mean, the acting is horrible. So is Satan. Horrible. You ever hear this? People say, well, the devil made me do it. The devil never made nobody do nothing. Nothing. Lucifer did not make Eve take that fruit. And a lot of people, I had a pastor just tell me that I was stretching things on this when I said Eve didn't commit the first disobedience and the first basically sin. Adam did, because Eve was his helpmate. If Eve eyes were open, she would have seen herself naked. She sure went to Adam. Say, here, take a bite of this. She would have never done that. She would have went and hid herself in shame that she was naked. She would have knew she was naked then. But as soon as Adam took that bite, that's when they both knew. What did they do? They went and hid, covered themselves with leaves. See? Cain and Abel, first murder. I'm stretching beyond stretching now. No, I just look at the Bible and I meditate on it. And I look at it because it doesn't make sense to me. But when people say that Adam committed the first sin, and I'm thinking, how did Adam do that? I mean, Eve committed the first sin. How did Eve do that when she would have? I mean, think about it. If you're watching somebody get murdered, okay, and you're standing there watching it and you do nothing, you're as guilty as that person killing that person. I don't care how you look at it. You didn't try to stop it. You didn't try to call the authorities. You didn't try to do anything but watch that person die. You may even help move the body because that's your friend or whatever. You're guilty. You're guilty of murder in my eyes. You should be found guilty the same as that person. Now, you interject with it. You may not do it at that moment, but as soon as you get a chance, you call 911 and say, hey, this person just killed this person. This is where the body is. This is the person who did it. I was scared. I didn't want to call anybody because I was afraid they were going to kill me. That's why I didn't call you at the moment it happened, but this is the first time I had an opportunity to call you. Roll your dice and take your chances, and either way, you may die. They might send somebody out to kill you on the streets. Who knows? But what I'm saying is, if you got that connection with Christ, you have no fear. They may cut our food source off. Well, I can guarantee you it speaks in the Bible. He rained down manna from heaven. I don't fear that he's not going to feed me. I don't fear that he's not going to bust open a stone and good water is going to come from it and I can drink it. I don't fear it. He kept me alive when I drank mud puddle water. You imagine all the nasty stuff in that? I lived through that. Shouldn't I be dead by now, some of the stuff I eat? I eat stuff with mold on it, for crying out loud. Maybe that's what's wrong with my brain today. I'm just kidding. I think sometimes I do have a problem, though. You know, I was talking to a guy who bought a bunch of load straps off me. And he goes, wow, you got a lot of stuff. I said, no, I've been getting rid of stuff. And you don't want to admit sometimes that I think it comes down to, I don't like wasting stuff. I don't like, if I have it, I don't want to get rid of it because as soon as I get rid of it, it seems like I need it. But, you know, and I know I know the saying, you know, if you haven't used it in over a year, you probably should just get rid of it. And I know that. I understand that. But then I got to go buy it because nobody's going to let me use something. I mean, I tried to borrow stuff off people before. Nobody ever loans nothing to me. But yet, when somebody needs something, I borrow it or I give it to them. I mean, it's like, but I can't let man detour what I'm going to do, right? Right. Glad we're on the same page. I've been thinking more and more about that because we was talking about all this the other day, and I started thinking, in a way, I'm doing the same thing to God. I'm putting God in the box. I'm saying that he's not capable of giving me what I need when I need it. And I preach on this stuff all the time. You know, we can stock money in there. Now, it's not foolish to do it, but I'm saying if this thing collapses, you're going to have $0. They're just going to give you a certain amount of money, and that's it. Kind of like food stamps. They give you a certain amount, and you're going to spend, and that's it. They already know. Every time I get on the Walmart app, do you need to order any more of these things? And it's got creamer on there. It might have coffee. It might have whatever, butter, whatever. And I'm thinking, gee, many cricket, mushrooms, shotguns, bullets, rope, duct tape, cans, gas cans, trash cans. I'm making a bomb shelter, people. I'm going to live underground. I'm joking. I'm not making fun of anybody either. I'm not at all. I just try to get your mind to start thinking about how crazy some of this stuff is. The government can say what they want. But I'm telling you right now, Jesus told me to tell his sheep the final examination is now. Make yourself right. And if you are a leader of a household, make your household right. Set the example. Set the bar where he is in the kingdom. Lead your family accordingly. Make that example. Do not speak like the Pharisees, but do as him, the Lord Christ. Basically, don't speak like the Pharisees, the right way to do something, and then go do the opposite. It's amazing, people. And I'm going to touch some more on the next video. I got to go get ready and stuff. My wife's taking me to dinner today. Because it's a nice... She probably don't like my cooking no more. She probably thinks I burned everything. I'm just kidding. We actually got to go out and do a few things, so it's always nice to go to dinner. I love going to dinner. I like doing all kinds of stuff, but it's the excitement of that time that it's a privilege to have the time with her. And it's a privilege to be able to sit down here and put these models together. It's a privilege to have somebody that says, hey, go work on your models. Hey, go do this, or hey, go do that. Now I know there's a lot of stuff that I do got to get done, and I'm doing it. While we're out today, I got to stop and get some parts for this system that I'm installing, and hopefully everything goes smooth, God willing, and it'll be installed, and the softener issues will be solved, and that's just one check mark off of the thing. But I praise God that he allowed us to buy the stuff. I praise God that that we have a roof over our head, and I praise him for who he is. And I'm thankful that he finds me worthy. So that being said, think about what you're doing today. Does it represent Christ? Because the Father will take nothing less. Don't call yourself a Christian if you're not willing to be Christ-like. Love you. God loves you. Jesus sacrificed his life that God has given. But Jesus is coming. Are you ready?